Well, I just decided to take a trip to Dorney Park real quick. This is just a GTA side mission right here. We're gonna spend a couple of hours in this park. And we wanna ride Iron Menace, of course, the new B&M dive coaster. Last year, I think so, or perhaps, yeah, it was the last year. And well, I don't think we're gonna go in the water park. The weather forecast, it wasn't really the best. They said it was going to rain today, but it is a sunny day and I need my sunscreen. Even though this sunscreen I put on, it kind of smells like piss, but let's move on, man. Ooh, well. The first roller coaster we're gonna try out is Talon. I don't know how to pronounce this roller coaster, but we know it's a B&M inverted coaster. Look at the track. Looks awesome. The color scheme is also great, but how great is this roller coaster experience really? Let's find out. Well, we just tried out Talon, the B&M inverted coaster, and we did a back row ride, and it was a complete walk-on. So that is awesome. And well, what can we really say? It's just a mid-tier B&M inverted coaster. So I had no expectations for this ride, and it turns out it's actually quite whippy. And that small overbank turnaround over the entrance sign is actually the most forceful part of the ride. And you also have a large, what would you call it, the last section where it's low to the ground with a few twists and turns. That's so awesome because you can feel the speed right there. But now we need to quickly move on because this is just a side mission. So bye-bye. Well, I must say that wasn't really the best kind of ride experience, first of all, because we did a front row ride on Hydra right here. And well, this roller coaster isn't really the best compared to the B&M inverted coaster here at Dorney Park, because it's quite rattly. The only awesome thing about this roller coaster is perhaps that first hang time filled JoJo roll in the start of the ride, of course, the pre-section lift hill. And after that, the roller coaster is quite unique in terms of ride layout. But the ride is just, I don't know if you can hear me because of the American music, but the ride experience is just kind of floaty. So everyone can ride this, perhaps just a family thrill coaster in terms of intensity. But it did have a rattle. And combined with my eye filled with sunscreen, it wasn't the best ride experience, but let's move on. Well, look what I found. An intimate impulse coaster. I've never tried one of these, so we're gonna quickly go up there right now, right here. Quickly, go. 2, 1. Well, I just tried Possessed, my first intimate impulse roller coaster ever, and well, the punches, I thought they were a bit more strong in terms of acceleration. But you know, when you pull up on those top hats, I don't know what you call it, the spike right there, oh my goodness, the positive G-forces are kinda insane. But I am beginning to get a little bit dizzy and my headache is getting a bit worse. But we need to try Iron Menace, of course, and it's right beside this impulse, right here. This is the newest coaster in the park, and well, I haven't tried a beyond vertical drop dive coaster before, so hopefully Iron Menace delivers a great drop right here. Yes, we did just ride Iron Menace right here, and well, that first drop is great, as you can see right here. We sat on the second row, the wing seat, and unfortunately this ride experience is already a bit rattly, especially on those wing seats. And well, we know it's a bit better if you sit in the middle. But this is of course just a side mission because I am unfortunately not feeling so well. My headache is getting worse and worse, but we need to try one more roller coaster before we go. And you already know perhaps. And the coaster I'm of course talking about is Steel Force right here. This is a Morgan Hyper coaster, very rare coaster model. And we're gonna try a ride in the back row because I have heard this one is perhaps mid-tier and sometimes great, so it really depends on those trim brakes. So let's see. Bye.
Enjoy your ride from the 205.
Let me tell you right here, Steel Force was actually a huge surprise because we sat in the back row for one ride and the pull was just crazy. Great first drop up there, and then after that we had a few floater hills with a bit of pull, of course, because we sat in the back row. And I have actually, when I looked at those off-ride and on-ride POVs of this roller coaster, I thought that big turnaround section was going to be the worst part of this coaster, perhaps dull, but the speed right there is pacey, amazing, intense, and a bit janky, but that only adds to the intensity. And then we have all of those small scale airtime hills after that trim break, and those were honestly quite good but not amazing. We got a bit of whip, I would call it a decent amount of airtime in the back row, so a big surprise. Well, Thunderhawk is just one wooden roller coaster I have to skip because of my health, because oh my goodness, I am not feeling so well. My headache is getting worse and I need to drive to Washington DC tonight. So unfortunately I have to skip this wooden coaster. So please in the comments tell me, is this roller coaster worth skipping or did I miss this one? Look at this idiot. Hello again. I'm just sitting on a bench right here by Thunderhawk and Steel Force above me. I'm trying to recover because I need to drive, as I said before. And we just bought this Fanta and it's pretty decent. Not the best, but hopefully the sugar will get to my head quickly. Ah! Thunderhawk right there, and then I will be fresh to go. Yes, bye. Whoop. Let's just quickly take a look at the map. Well, this is the entrance. We went here to ride Talon, one ride there, over here, back to Hydra, okay. Then we went all the way here, blah, 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 down here, yes. To the left, to ride Possessed, bang, and then Iron Menace, and then at last, Steel Force. And then we went over here by Thunderhawk, and now we are right here, of course. You are here, Bye-bye, man. Now, I know, this wasn't really the best vlog, but Dorney Park was just a side mission. This wasn't really planned, but we did it, and it turned out to be a great side mission because there's, no crowds today. Every roller coaster was pretty much a walk-on, so in just a couple of hours we did all the major rides, and that's awesome. And now we are officially saying goodbye to Dorney Park. And in terms of the best coasters, this is important. I actually think that Talon right here is the best roller coaster in the park. That B&M invert is actually a big surprise. The second half low to the ground with the twists and turns is especially awesome. And coming in at second place, spot number 2, we have Steel Force. Surprisingly a great hyper coaster made by Morgan with a lot of floater airtime pops, especially in the back row. And that turnaround section was actually kind of decent. The speed there is insane. And then in the end we have Iron Menace in this third spot. And the reason here is actually just we had a second row, the wing seat, and the roller coaster is quite rattly. But given we sat on the second row and we had a wing seat, I told myself, well, perhaps this roller coaster is better if you sit in the front row because of the hang time on the first drop, and perhaps it's a bit more pleasant to ride. And that was actually the official top 3 in terms of best roller coasters for me at Dorney Park. And the only thing I can say, at the end of the day, I'm always gonna say bye bye.